My dad has never liked my significant other and can't give me a reason why. 3 days ago he kicked me, my 8-month-old daughter and my husband out after an altercation between my dad and husband. 2 days prior to this, my dad threatened to beat my husband's ass for something I did and assumed my husband did not hear his threats. Then, 2 days later, makes one of his shitty remarks at my husband and all hell broke loose. Things did not get physical, but they were about to before I stepped in between. My husband threatened my dad and we were kicked out. 9 months ago, just before I gave birth, my dad begged us to move from another state and live with him. He wanted us to have time to save some money and get our bearings as new parents. I was reluctant, knowing my dad and how abrasive he is, and didn't think it was a good idea. He insisted things would be fine, and we decided to give it a chance, knowing how helpful it would be to not have rent looming over us as we welcomed our daughter. Since we arrived, my dad has been nothing but rude to my husband. Without diving deep into the details, this has left my husband feeling extremely uncomfortable and walking on eggshells to keep the peace. At 6-month postpartum, my husband agreed to quit working and instead let me go back to work, which I really wanted. He was going to stay home with the baby, and after a few months we would move closer to his parents, who are retired and would help us with childcare, so that we can both work. About a month ago, we let my dad know we'd be moving out and relocating 2 hours north where my in-laws live. This caused a really big argument between my dad and I, where he called me names and told me it was my fault he would have to sell his house. Keep in mind, we haven't been paying rent, despite every attempt every month we've been there to give him money. Since then, tension has been growing. My dad has always made quite a bit of noise when my daughter has been sleeping. She is not a great sleeper as it is, and we're up every 2 hours with her all night since birth. Needless to say, my husband and I are exhausted and over him waking her up. 5 days ago at 6 a.m, he's in the kitchen slamming cabinets shut and woke the baby up. I start work at 6 a.m, and usually my husband will take care of all the baby's needs while I'm working, even though I'm home. The baby is quite particular at this age and wants me to do the soothing. So I had my husband move my mouse in the office while I put her to sleep. The noise continued, and I hit my breaking point and slammed the door. This set my dad off, and he was screaming threats towards my husband, assuming he slammed the door. When my husband heard these threats, he wanted to leave immediately. After fighting with him all day to bide our time and stick to the plan for moving, he agreed he wouldn't say or do anything towards my dad. We were going to leave in peace. Until 2 days later, my dad made a shitty comment at my husband and my husband came unglued. My dad expected me to leave my husband then and there for disrespecting him in his house. Because I told him that was out of the question and stated that he made threats first, he made me and my daughter leave as well. He gave me 45 minutes to collect my things and leave, so we left. Today, I let him know we'd be by Saturday to get the rest of our things and asked if he could leave for a couple of hours so that conflicts didn't continue. He told me he wouldn't let me get my stuff with my husband's help and he was not welcome back in the house. Then he told me that because I won't leave him, it was my fault, we'd no longer have a relationship and he wouldn't have a relationship with my daughter. I told him that I would be there on Saturday with a police officer and will collect whatever I can in the 15 to 30 minutes allowed. Keep in mind, my husband is a very kind and gentle man. He has never been abusive towards me, never made me question his loyalty, and until a few days ago has never been disrespectful towards my family. Hell, I've never even seen him be physical or aggressive towards anyone until then. I'm very hurt with my husband for going against what he promised me and haven't shared much words with him in a few days. However, I understand there's only so much one can take before they lose it. Regardless, his actions did lead to this. That being said, I'm having a hard time forgiving my dad for kicking me out like that with an 8-month-old baby. For him making threats to begin with, and ultimately for the cruel things he's saying and doing to me. Am I wrong for threatening to have the cops there? Is it on me that our relationship is now tethered, that he will not have a relationship with his granddaughter? I'm so heartbroken right now, and I'm worried that maybe it is my fault.